Hello guys, and what's going on? So in this one we are going to talk about tables. Okay, but before we do that, I actually want to explain the use database queries that I did in the last video really quick, okay, because I did not explain it that well. Okay, so what actually does, it just opens a database just like that. Okay, we're not actually, yeah, just opens a database just like that one right here. So actually our database, I did not notice that in the last one because our database did not just had any tables inside it, just like these ones over here. So I'm going to just do that again, use database, and let me just choose the database jobs right here. So when I actually run this, click on go, and we have an error right here. Actually I did not, yeah, I did not, I don't need database right here. I just go with use, and there you go, it just opens up just like that. Let me try another one. Let me choose Laravel, which is actually a database just right here, and let's go. And now this one also opens up just like that. Okay, so now we need to go into tables, but before we do that, just go ahead and create this database with this name right here, or any name you want, but I'm just going to create this one blog right here. I created it before I film this video right here. Okay, so it's just completely empty. So now because I want to go and create a table inside this database, I just should click on it, or I will have an error. Okay, and now I am inside, I'm inside this database right here. You can see the base is over here. I'm now in my server, and now I'm now on the database log right here. I'm going to SQL, and now I need to create my tables. So basically a table is just the building block of a database. Any database that actually ever created is just a bunch of tables with some relationships in between them. Okay, and of course every time you create a database or a relationship, your database just gets complicated, and that of course depends on your application or your business. Okay, so creating the database is really easy. It's just an array. If you are familiar with any programming language, which I think you should be if you're actually learning SQL, a table is just an array. Okay, so a table is just a bunch of columns. A column is also the building block of a table. Just every table has some columns inside it, and we are going to look into that right now. So to create a table, just go ahead and press create and type in create table, and the table name, let's say users, and of course this one you can choose any database you want, but I would say just make it depends on your business, or depends on what you want with that table. Just to recognize your tables easily every time you look at them. Okay, so now we are going to create some columns inside our table right here. So basically, to create a column, you need the column name. Actually, yeah, okay, so let me create the column name first, and this one's going to be ID, and then the column data type, and we are going to get into data types in the next video. Just think of data types as, just the data types in any programming language. We have in programming language like let's say PHP has integers, floats, nulls, decimals, and just these simple data types, and SQL has also the same thing. So we are going to get into integer. This one, the ID is going to be integer, and now we need some allocations, which actually the number of places or the number of spaces this column right here is going to occupy inside the column. Okay, let's say this one, let's give it for 2, and of course you can make this anything you want, but I will just, you know, don't make it too big or don't make it too small, just depends on what you want to do with this column. So this one is going to all just 2 numbers, only 2 numbers. Okay, and now we can specify some other attributes or some other qualities to this column. Let's say we can just do not null, we can do auto increment, we can do anything we want right here. Okay, so let me see, let me do not null, and of course what this attribute is going to do right to do with this column is going to make, so what not null is going to do is actually it's going to verify that this column right here, every time we type in some data into this column, it's going to make sure that this column right here is not going to be, you know, is not going to be null. It will assure that it has a value. Okay, it cannot be empty. This is what not null do. Null actually is also you know, just a data type, which means nothing. Okay, so to create our next column we need to put this comma right here, and now to our next column, which let's call it user name, and now we can specify the data type right here, and this one's going to be varchar. Okay, a varchar is just, you know, just a bunch of strings to the username. Of course we want to set our username to a string, not an integer. Okay, we don't need a number for our username. A varchar is just a bunch of numbers and characters also. Okay, so let me try specify some allocations. Let's say this one is going to be like let's say 20, and an email, also a varchar. An email can be a bunch of numbers and strings. Let me say, let's specify it also 20, and just a password, also a varchar. Let me say, let's specify to 30 right here. Okay, so now we created our table, and with, you know, this easy, you can create your own table. And if I click on go, and gives us right here this, you know, this icon right here, which specifies that we actually created our table, and just shows up right here. If I click on it and go ahead and click on structure, and you can see right here that we have our table right there. Okay, so this is basically it for this one, and see you in the next video.